And now we come to our honorary award. These are awarded by the university in recognition of somebody who's made a very significant contribution in their particular field. I therefore have great pleasure in inviting Professor Catherine Mitchell, Vice-Chancellor and Chief Executive of the University of Derby, to give the commendation for the conferment of an Honorary Doctor of the University to Willie Tucker. Professor Mitchell.
What?
Chancellor, Lord Lieutenant, Mayor of Derby, honoured guests, graduates of 2025, and all our guests here today. It gives me great pleasure to be presenting Willie Tucker, CVO, DL, for the award of Honorary Doctor of the University. Willie held the position of Lord Lieutenant of Derbyshire from 2009 to 2020, serving as the late Queen's personal representative in the county and organising their royal visits. He attended many of our graduation ceremonies over the years in this capacity, and we are delighted to welcome him back today to recognise his outstanding commitment to public service and to Derbyshire. Willie was born in Renfrewshire in Scotland in 1945 and has lived in Derbyshire for almost 50 years with his wife Jill. On leaving school, he began a career with the cooperative movement in 1960 and retired 45 years later in 2005 as Chief Executive of Midlands Cooperative. During that time, he was also Chairman of the Cooperative Insurance Society and a Director of the Cooperative Bank for 11 years. In 2009, Willie was settling into his fourth year of retirement from the cooperative when his plans were unexpectedly put on hold by the somewhat daunting royal invitation to take up the historic role of Lord Lieutenant. This significant role has been in place for over 500 years and requires the office holder to serve until they are 75. During his impressive 11-year tenure, Willie meticulously planned 44 royal visits and escorted royal visitors on their trips around the county. He was patron or president of 26 organisations and fundraising appeals in Derbyshire. His duties also included attending services of all faiths, whether at Derby Cathedral, local chapels, churches, temples or gurdwaras, visiting missions, food banks and charities, attending citizen ceremonies, university degree ceremonies and school speech days, and recognising and celebrating the remarkable work being undertaken by communities across Derbyshire. Key highlights of Willie's time in the office include the Royal Maundy service at Derby Cathedral in 2010, the only major state occasion held outside of London and Windsor, and a visit by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth and the Duke of Edinburgh to the Derbyshire Dales in 2014, where their itinerary included the iconic John Smedley factory and attending a reception for the county's charities, followed by lunch at Chatsworth House with the Duke and Duchess of Devonshire. Each event was orchestrated and overseen by Willie to showcase the county's rich heritage and diverse community. Willie also served as the lead Lord Lieutenant in Magistracy matters in England and Wales, overseeing the appointment of new Justices of the Peace throughout Nottinghamshire and Derbyshire, and the operation of the magistracy in general. In November 2019, Willie's service was recognised at the highest level by Her Majesty the late Queen, appointing him Commander of the Royal Victorian Order, a fitting tribute to his years of unwavering dedication and excellent service. Willie's efforts have left an indelible mark on Derbyshire, from fostering connections between local organisations and the royal family to championing regional causes on a national stage. His leadership and dedication exemplify the very best in public service. Moreover, he has steadfastly supported the university and me personally over the years. He is a true friend of the university, exemplifying our values and demonstrating an enduring commitment to our county. Willie's wife, Jill, has been at Willie's side for most of his official functions, and she joins him here in celebration today, along with his daughters, Laura and Elaine. Chancellor, in recognition of his outstanding dedication and commitment to public service through his role as Lord Lieutenant for Derbyshire, we are delighted to award Willie Tucker, CVODL, the honorary degree of the Doctor of the University.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, my Lord Lieutenant, Mayor of Derby, distinguished guests, graduates of 2025, and all other guests present today. Thank you, Kath, for that fabulous introduction and citation, which I very much appreciate. Let me start by adding my own personal very best wishes and congratulations to all those who have received degrees this morning or who are about to receive a degree in the remainder of this ceremony. It is wonderful to share this very special day with you all. As you've just heard, I spent 11 years of my life as Lord Lieutenant, and during those 11 years I sat on the other side of this stage for graduation ceremonies. We had a debate earlier this morning as to how many exactly, but we all agreed that it was somewhere between 70 and 90 of these ceremonies. And during that time, I witnessed literally thousands of graduates crossing the stage, acknowledging the Chancellor and collecting their degree. They came from all walks of life, from all differing parts of the world, and they were here in Derby to study for all sorts of differing reasons. But the one thing which they all had in common was that as they crossed this stage, was the sheer look of joy and pleasure on their faces, and probably as they collected their degree, the look of utter relief that all their hard work over the previous 3 or 4 years had paid off and they had done well. Chancellor, this morning I crossed that stage from that side to this, and I'm delighted to do so. And in doing so, I share with them that feeling of pleasure and joy at receiving this degree. I thank you, Chancellor and Vice-Chancellor, and all of your colleagues at the university who were involved in making the decision to offer me this degree, which I, of course, accept with a huge amount of pleasure and humility. As you heard, I left Port Glasgow High School at 15 years of age. And this is my first degree and only degree. So it's taken me 65 years. It only took you 3 or 4. It's taken me 65 years. But my God, it's been well worth the wait. Many, many thanks, Chancellor. Being Lord Lieutenant of Derbyshire was one of the greatest privileges of my life. To be invited by Her Majesty the late Queen Elizabeth to be her personal representative in this wonderful county of Derbyshire was a real honour. And as you heard, in November 2019, I went up to Buckingham Palace, where Her Majesty installed me as a member of the Royal Victorian Order by appointing me as a commander. And as Her Majesty leaned forward to put the ribbon round my neck, and I know that you're not supposed to repeat what the Queen or the King says to you in private, but I equally know that if I tell you this morning, you won't tell anybody else. But as Her Majesty leaned forward and put the ribbon round my neck and shook my hand and thanked me for carrying out the role, she said to me, I suppose the greatest advantage of being a Lord Lieutenant is that it involves you in so many different aspects of your county's life, and you meet such a diverse range of people. And how right she was. And I'm sure our current Lord Lieutenant, who I'm delighted to see here this morning, Mrs. Fothergill, would share that sentiment. Incidentally, Mrs. Fothergill, Liz, is the First Lady Lord Lieutenant in this county in 500 years, and I think that deserves a round of applause. But the Queen was, as she always was, absolutely right. Being Lord Lieutenant does involve you in so many different aspects of the county. You become involved in the business community in both large and small businesses. You get involved in the educational structure of the county, in schools, colleges, and this wonderful university. It involves you in the legal structure of the county, in the court system, in the emergency services, the police, the fire, the ambulance services, who do such a wonderful job. In farming and in all matters in the rural community, which is so important here in Derbyshire. It involves you with the people whose job it is to sell this county, those involved in tourism. And what a wonderful product to sell. With the church, the established church, and with all the multi-faiths, with sport and health and everything else that makes this county tick. But as Mrs. Fothergill will tell you, the one thing it does involve you in, which is by far greater than any of those other, is in the voluntary and charitable sector. As you heard, I was involved with many charities and voluntary organisations during my time as Lord Lieutenant. Literally thousands of people across the county giving freely of their time, their energy, sometimes their money, and sometimes all three, to better the lot of their fellow citizens and to make their lives that little bit more comfortable than it might otherwise be. Now, from my personal experience as Lord Lieutenant, I know the student body of the university is a very important part of that voluntary sector. Lots of students, probably lots who are here this morning, have volunteered both here in the city of Derby and elsewhere within the county in a very meaningful way. And I would want this morning to take the opportunity on behalf of the county to congratulate you and thank you for everything that you did in that respect. I have one final request of you all, the new graduates. As you leave this arena this afternoon with a degree in hand, you will step out into a very complex, deeply disturbed, and at the moment a very troubled world, and a world which is desperately waiting for people like you. I therefore ask that as you leave this arena and step into the wider world, that no matter where you end up, and no matter what you end up doing, that you will share your success with others and carry on helping others in a voluntary and meaningful way, as you have done here within our wonderful county of Derbyshire. It was Mahatma Gandhi who said, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. And I can't think of any better words to leave you with than those. Chancellor, I thank you again for the honour you do me this morning in presenting me with this honorary doctorate, which I will treasure for whatever time I have left. I am deeply grateful to you and to all your colleagues at the university, and to you, the graduates of 2025, I simply say that I wish each and every single one of you, whatever it is that you might wish for yourselves as you step forward into the next phase of your lives. Many thanks indeed.